Hi. Yeah, my name is Tae Kim. 안녕하세요. 김태준입니다. Yeah, this is my YouTube channel, and I've been making these YouTube channel videos for quite some time. I started about a month ago. Uh, yeah, I go to church in Koreatown, and there's a studio set up there, and I made some videos there at the studio. But today I'm making this video at my office here in Koreatown, and I'd like to talk about what's been going on as far as Koreatown here in LA is concerned regarding the all these negative impact that we've been getting, not just to Koreatown but all across America, and of course the entire world as well. For those of you who are not really do not for those of you who don't live or shop in Koreatown, but many of you do, and especially your Korean Americans, of course, you know what's going on. You're well aware of the total flattened impact that we've been getting here in Koreatown, and it's been going on this entire shutdown of the economic activity in Koreatown as well as all across America and the world. It's been going on more than 2 months, and as you know, in cases just like any other parts of America, the shops, retail shops, restaurants, they've been all closed down here in Koreatown, and it's particularly painful for the Koreatown community because we depend on the people coming into our town and dining and shopping retail shops. These are the main source of our income for the whole community. And as this crisis started, then the city government, the federal government, they all gave us these guidelines to just completely stop uh, the economic activities of. So obviously we've been getting a tremendous amount of completely total shutdown of the economy, and I've talked to some shop owners here, particularly the restaurant owners, and they do some business. So I'm talking about Koreatown, but I guess it goes for the all other retail shops all across America. But particularly for the restaurants here, they do still do some business. Like I would say they are maintaining their business about like at the minimum maybe 20%, and the best case scenario for the shops here, like they are maintaining their business, but at the best 40%, at worst it's about 20%. So I would say maybe 30% compared to the business activities they've been doing before the crisis began. So yeah, so they are doing some, like for example for restaurants, they do deliveries and they do takeouts, but they as a whole they're only doing about 30% average of business compared to before the crisis. So you can imagine that the kind of the impact or this total flattened impact that we've been getting. So the crisis right now, it's been going on more than 2 months, and the city government as well as the state and the federal governments, they are beginning to lift all these restrictions, and more and more every day as time goes by. Every day the shops are opening up, but it's still not enough. And as we enter third months, uh, I don't know how long we can be able to continue to absorb all these all total economic shutdown that we had no control over, and it all happened all of a sudden out of blue. Like, so the federal government has been offering all those relief programs, PPP, EIDL, and the unemployment PUA, plus the state and the LA City government, they are offering additional relief programs. And I work at my church's social services department. I've been helping a lot of people who need help in applying for those programs. Particularly, I've helped a lot of people applying for PUA, and many people did receive those benefits from the government. Uh, uh, the people who suffered economically uh, from the negative impact from the crisis. So PPP, as for PPP, some Korean American news outlets here in K-Town reported that the federal government is not accepting PPP anymore, but that's not true. That news is not correct, as reported by some Korean newspapers here. So you can, if you're a business owner who's been impacted by the crisis, you can still apply for PPP. And as for EIDL, they're accepting, but it's limited to agricultural businesses. So EIDL is not accepting unless you run some kind of agriculture related business. So and of course you can still apply for PUA uh, for unemployment, the special federal government funded unemployment benefits. You can apply for PUA, and I can help you with that at my church. So if you need help in applying for these programs, you can call me at 661-316-2800. As for the Korean American community in LA here, I would really definitely characterize the current crisis as the second riots. That you know, it's another riots for us. I experienced the 1992 LA riots myself. I experienced it personally, and what we experienced, what we are going through right now, particularly in K Town, I I feel as though it's just like what I experienced back in 1992 when the LA riots erupted. So it feels just like that. It feels like we are experiencing that dark moment in our history again. So I encourage everyone, every business owner who's been impacted by the crisis to apply every available program out there right now if you haven't done so. PPP, EIDL, if you run an agriculture business, PUA, pandemic unemployment assistance, plus there are other all kinds of benefit programs now that are available from local governments. You can find them up for yourself on going on online. Just search LA pandemic assistance program, and there's so many programs out there. And I strongly believe that everyone really should apply whatever is out there to get the benefits to the maximum amount that we can get, because that's the right thing to do, and we should not let go of all these available programs from the governments uh, in this current crisis. And yes, personally, I feel very strong about that. Uh, Knowing how the experiences from the LA riots in 1992. So this is our time to respond strongly, positively, with all the all their available programs out there. So please, everyone, if you haven't done so, just apply for every program that you are qualified for. Okay, and I just want to talk a little bit briefly more about going from the local level to I want to talk a little bit about how this crisis is going to affect the future world in terms of like foreign relations. Like 'cause that's my specialty actually. So I want to talk about how this crisis is going to impact the world situation, especially the relationship with China. China has been blamed for as a source of where the coronavirus started. But let's not talk about let's not go into detail that whether that is right or wrong, uh, because uh, whether that is right or wrong, it's the President Trump and Secretary of State Pompeo, Secretary of Defense, as per they all strongly came out in response to that by saying that China is the one that really should be blamed, and then a lot of states, local, these state governments, Michigan, Louisiana, maybe Ohio, many state governments here in the United States have already filed a suit against Chinese government for the cost associated with the coronavirus. And many more states are planning to do the same thing. So that's what's going on. And so I just briefly uh, going into a conclusion that when this pandemic is over, I really believe that China is going to be in a state where it's really far weaker than before the crisis began. Uh, this the America, the U.S. and China economic partnership that was the main focus of worldwide economic system coming into this crisis. That U.S. China partnership has been the main uh, point of the worldwide economic system for like 30, 20, 40 years. And that is beginning to end. And China is being replaced by India. Uh, Indian Prime Minister Modi, he visited U.S. Last year, and President Trump also visited back India last year as well. So India and the United States are getting closer, uh, and that at the same time diminishes the current U.S.-China economic partnership. So in the future, you are going to see more and more U.S. cooperation with India, and that translates to further weakening of China's position in the world stage as U.S. moves all many of its production facilities in mainland China to United States, back to United States, or moving those facilities to India and other countries like Indonesia, Vietnam, all other countries that are capable of producing manufactured goods that have been produced in China. So, uh, I, so that's the future trend for the world economy. So you're going to see a far weakened China, and at the same time, that's going to translate into a further rising of India and other smaller companies that they can replace China, the role that China has been playing for the last 3 decades or so. So that's the trend that we all will be facing. And Peter Navarro is the White House International Trade Advisor. He was the first person to be appointed in that position after President Trump got elected. And Peter Navarro is a former economics professor at UC Irvine, and he's the real brain trust of Trump administration's new policy on China that began immediately after Trump got elected. So, so Peter Navarro is still in that position. So he's the only one that like he seems like Peter Navarro seems like the only uh, high-ranking official within the Trump administration that is still keeping his position, and that who has not been, like other high-ranking officials within the White House that have not been fired by Trump until now. So Peter Navarro still enjoys close relationship, very close relationship with President Trump, and his uh, policy recommendations of weakening China and replacing China with India and other countries. That main focal point of the economic policy uh, by the Trump administration will be going on for farther into future. So that's the trend that we are going to see more and more, and that will be further cemented, strengthened because of this virus crisis, as it's going to further weaken China and as all these production facilities in China will be moving back to United States or India or other smaller countries. So that's going to be the new trend, and so as far as going back to local level here in Koreatown, so I just I want to emphasize again that all the business owners that are impacted by the crisis should just file if they have not done so, just file for uh, getting all these benefit programs available right now today. That really must do as a community. Okay, that's all for today. I think.